let me start with another crossover operator named multi-point crossover. Now, before we start discussing the principle of this particular crossover operator, let me take one example. Supposing that I am going to solve the optimization problem involving 10 real variables, and to represent each real variable, supposing that I am using 10 bits. So, the GA string will be 10 multiplied by 10, 100 bits long. Now, let me just show that particular the GA string. Now, the GA string will look like this. Supposing that this is 100 bits long. Now, at the GA string is 100 bits long. So, there will be 99 places for selecting the crossover site if I use the single point crossover. Now, supposing that fortunately or unfortunately, so we have selected the crossover site which is nothing but here. So, this is nothing but the crossover site in single point crossover. Now, according to the principle of single point crossover, the bits which are lying on the left hand side of the crossover site, there will be no change, and the bits which are lying on the right hand side, so there will be swapping. And if we just follow this particular principle of single point crossover, so there is a possibility that in the children's solution there will be no change, no diversity due to this particular the single point crossover, because here, so on this particular left side bits there will be no change. So, we may not get the required diversity in the children's solution compared to the parents. Just to remove this particular difficulty of the single point crossover, the concept of the multi point crossover has come. Now, here actually what we do is, so we try to select a number of crossover site at random using the random number generator. Now, let us see what happens here. Now, supposing that these two parents are going to participate in multi point crossover, and as I told, the crossover sites, multiple number of crossover sites are selected at random. Now, here I am selecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crossover sites. Now, let us see how to find out the children's solution from these two parents. The principle is very simple. Now, what we do is, first we concentrate on the leftmost crossover site, that means this particular crossover site, and the bits which are lying on the left hand side of the first crossover site, there will be no change, and the bits which are lying between the first and second. So, here, so there will be some swapping. The next is your the bits lying between the second and third. So, there will be no change. Then the bits lying between the third and fourth. So, there will be swapping, and the bits lying between fourth and fifth will remain the same, and the bits which are lying on the right hand side of the last crossover site. So, there will be some swapping, and due to that, so you will be getting the children's solution which is nothing but this. So, this is actually the children's solutions which we will be getting using the concept of this multi point crossover. Now, here as we select a number of crossover sites at random, so there is a possibility that there will be some sort of diversification in the children's solution compared to the parent solutions. Now, this is actually the merit or the plus point of the multi point crossover in comparison with the single point the crossover. So, this particular crossover operator is more efficient, particularly for the problem having a large number of variables. Now, I am just going to discuss with another crossover operator which is very popular, and this is known as uniform crossover. Now, this uniform crossover is actually a slightly modified version, and I should say a sophisticated version of this particular the multi-point crossover. Now, let us see how does it work. Now, the principle is very simple. Now, supposing that these two are the parents which are going to participate in this particular the uniform crossover. So, what we do is we start from the leftmost bit position, and that means I am here. So, here we take the help of some sort of coin tossing with probability 0.5 for appearing head. Now, if head appears, then there will be swapping of the bits, and if it is a failure, then the bits will remain the same. Now, this particular procedure is followed at each of the bit position. Now, in computer program, now how to implement this particular the technique? The principle is very simple. So, what we do is at each of the bit position, we just take the help of one random number generator. Now, this particular random number generator will generate a number lying between 0 and 0.5. So, if lying between 0 and 1.0. Now, if the number generated by the random number generator is found to lie between 0 and 0.5. So, that will be a success. That means success means the head will appear and there will be swapping of the bits. So, this particular principle is followed just to get the children solutions from the parents. Now, if we just consider these two parents, and if I consider that head has appeared at a particular bit position, then let us see how to find out the children solution. Let us assume that the head has occurred at the position, that is the second one, the fourth one, the fifth one, 8th, 9th, 12th, 18th and 20th position. That means, in these positions there is a success in coin tossing, that means the head has appeared. So, there will be swapping. Now, if I see the parent position, so this is the parent position second. So, this is 0 1. So, 0 1. So, it is a success. So, this will become 1 and 0. Then comes your the fourth one. So, this is the fourth position. So, this is a success. So, there will be a swapping. So, it is 1 1. So, here on the children solution, this will remain same as 1 1. Then comes your the fifth position is a success. So, once again there will be swapping. So, 0 0 will become 0 0 here. Now, this particular procedure is followed, and if we follow this particular principle, so starting from the two parents, we will be getting the children solution like this. Now, how to implement? So, the method which I have already discussed is one of the possible methods. Now, if you see the literature, there is another method with the help of which, so this particular the uniform crossover can be implemented very easily. The method is as follows. Now, supposing that say I have got 20 bits and I will have to implement the uniform crossover. Now, what we do is we take the help of a template. Now, this template is nothing but actually this is a just like your the plate sort of thing, where there are some marked position 20 positions for the 20 bits. Now, supposing that, so this is the template. Now, here on this template, so this is the position for the first bit, this is the position for the second bit and so on, and might be this is the position for the 20th bit. Now, what we do is, so here at all these 20 positions, we generate 1 and 0 using the random number generator. Now, supposing that there is 1 here, there is 0 here, there is 1 here, and in between there are some zeros and ones. Now, the principle is as follows: if there is a 1 at a particular position, there will be a swapping of the bits, and if there is 0, so there will be no swapping and the bits will remain intact, and this particular procedure is followed for all the 20 bits positions. And by using this template, I can also implement the concept of this particular the uniform crossover. And here in this particular uniform crossover, starting from the 2 parents, so I will be getting the children solution. Now, if I compare the performance of this particular your uniform crossover with your the single point crossover or say 2 point crossover, now we are getting some advantage in uniform crossover in the sense that the problem having the large number of variables. So, this uniform crossover is found to perform better compared to both single point and 2 point crossovers. Now, we have seen the way the different crossover operators are working, and using the crossover operator how to get the children solution, and as I told several times, using this crossover operator there will be exchange of properties and we will be getting some diversity in the children solutions. Now, let us try to concentrate on another very powerful operator which is known as mutation. Now, if you see what happens in biology, so this biological mutation is well known, and let me take a very simple example of this biological mutation. Now, generally the crows are black in color, but if you just try to find out if you are fortunate enough, if you get one crow which is having white color, so that could be due to the biological mutation. The concept of this biological mutation has been copied in genetic algorithm in the artificial way, and here also we use the principle of mutation. Now, let us see how to implement this particular the mutation. Now, this mutation can bring local change around the current solution, and by doing that it can help to overcome the local minima problem. Now, I am just going to take one example just to show you how does it work. So, here in mutation, this is a bitwise mutation. So, what I do is, if there is 1, that is converted into 0 and vice versa. Now, as I told, it helps the GA to overcome the local minima problem. Now, let us see how can it overcome this particular the local minima problem. Let me take the example of a function having only one variable. Now, here in this particular function, say y is a function of only one variable f x. Now, if I plot and supposing that I am getting this type of local Bayesian and that type of global Bayesian. Now, here in genetic algorithm what we do is, we start with a population of solution selected at random. Now, supposing that unfortunately all the initial solutions are lying in this particular the local Bayesian, and if the solutions lying on the local Bayesian, and if I run GA for a large number of iteration, there is a possibility GA is going to hit this particular as the optimal solution, but this is not the globally optimal solution, this is a locally optimal solution, whereas the globally optimal solution could be here, because this is a minimization problem. So, this is the globally minimum solution and that is the global locally minimum solution. Now, if I run GA for a large number of generation, there is no guarantee that it will be able to hit the globally minimum solution. Now, it will be able to hit the globally minimum solution if and only if you can push at least one solution from local Bayesian to the global Bayesian. Now, it is this particular operator, the mutation operator, which can push at least one solution from the local Bayesian to the global Bayesian, and if it can push one solution to the global Bayesian, there is a possibility GA through a number of iteration it is going to hit this particular the globally minimum solution. Now, this is the way actually the GA is going to help the GA. So, the mutation is going to help the GA to come out of the local minima the problem. Now, let me go back to the previous slide just to show you. Now, how to select that particular the probability of mutation. Now, here if you see the probability of mutation plays a great role. Now, if the PM, that is the probability of mutation, is found to be, or if it is selected to be a very low value, the very purpose of using the mutation may not be served. On the other hand, if the probability of mutation is selected to be a very high value, so this GA will become equivalent to the random walk method or the random search method. That means, you will have to select this particular the PM in a very careful way, and the thumb rule to select actually this particular PM is as follows, that PM should lie between 0.1 divided by capital L and 1 divided by capital L. Now, here this L is nothing but the length of the GA string. Now, supposing that this L is equals to 100, there are 100 bits in the GA string, and here actually what you do is, so 0.1 divided by L is nothing but 0.001 and 1 divided by L is nothing but 0.01, and this particular PM should lie between this. So, the PM should lie between 0.001 to 0.01. So, generally as I told, generally we keep the value of this mutation probability to a low value, we just select to a low value. Now, let me try to understand the utility of this particular the mutation operator in a slightly different way. Now, supposing that I have got one GA whose task is to find out the optimal solution, and for simplicity let me assume that the population size, that is your the n, that is found to be only 4, say capital N is equals to 4, and let me take a very hypothetical example. Supposing that the GA strings are as follows, and in each of the GA string, supposing that I am using only 10 bits, the GA string is as follows, say 0, 0, 1, 1, dot dot dot, last is 1 0, the next is 0 1, 0 1, 1 1, the next is your 0 0, 1 1, 1 0, 0 1, 1 0, 0 0. Supposing that these are the GA strings and they are going to participate in crossover. Now, if I use single point or 2 point or multi point or uniform crossover, so you will be getting some children solution. Now, if I use this crossover operator, there is a possibility that I am going to miss the value 1 at the leftmost bit position. Now, if I use single point crossover, so at the leftmost bit position I will not be getting 1. If I use 2 point, multi point, uniform, at the leftmost bit position I will not be getting 1. But supposing that my globally optimal solution is such that if I want to indicate that there must be 1 at the leftmost bit position, that means if I want to hit that globally optimal solution, the condition is the leftmost bit position should be 1, that means there should be 1 here. Now, the reality is not even a single the crossover operator which I have discussed will be able to generate 1 on the leftmost bit position. Then how to overcome this particular problem? To overcome this particular problem, it is the mutation, that is the bitwise mutation, which is going to help us, and there is a possibility that I will be getting 1 at the leftmost bit position using this particular the mutation operator. So, this is actually the real strength of this particular the mutation operator, and that is why we should use the mutation. Now, supposing that I have got only such 4 GA string and in each GA string I have got only 10 bits. Now, 10 multiplied by 4, so I have got 40 bits. Now, if I have got only 40 bits and supposing that the mutation probability is say 0.03. So, if it is 0.03, now this is equal to your 1.2, 40 multiplied by 0.03. So, this is nothing but 1.2. That means, out of these 40 bits there will be mutation probabilistically only on 1 bit. This is equivalent to 1, but as it is probabilistic, so there could be mutation on 2 bits also, and at the same time there could be a chance that there will be no mutation if I consider the mutation probability as 0.03. Now, that means we have understood that the mutation probability has got some role, and this operator has got big role in the working principle of this particular the genetic algorithm. Now, let us try to find out like whose contribution is more, and let us try to compare the contribution of this particular the crossover and your the mutation operator. And my question is, should I go for crossover or only mutation or both? Now, to answer this, actually the whole community of these non-traditional optimization tools, particularly those who are working on GA, actually the whole community was divided into 2 subgroups. Now, one group used to believe that there should be crossover as well as mutation, and another group used to believe there should be only mutation, crossover is redundant. Now, to answer that, actually I am just going to discuss on this issue. Now, if I want to have a very efficient GA search, there should be construction as well as disruption. That means, you will have to construct some GA string, you will have to destruct also, because we want some diversification in the search process. Now, if you see in terms of disruption capability, now this particular your the mutation operator is much more powerful in comparison with the crossover operator. But if you see in terms of the construction capability, now the crossover operator is preferred to the mutation operator, and that is why in genetic algorithm and genetic programming we actually consider both your crossover and mutation, but we give slightly more weightage on the crossover compared to the mutation. On the other hand, the techniques like evolutionary strategy or evolutionary programming, they give more weightage on the mutation operator. In fact, they do not use the concept of this particular the crossover operator. Now, I am just going to solve one numerical example just to help you in understanding like how to carry out the calculation little bit in binary coded GA. Now, here what I am going to discuss like how many bits are to be assigned to represent the real variable and to represent the integer variable if you want a desired level of precision. Now, the way I have formed this particular the numerical example is as follows. I am just going to use one binary coded GA to solve one optimization problem having 2 variables. Now, out of 2 variables, there is one integer variable and the second one is the real variable. Now, real variable is having the range 0.2 to 10.43 say, and the integer variable is having the range 0 to 63. Now, how to design a suitable GA string to ensure the precision level of 0.01 for the real variable and the precision level of 1 for the integer variable. Now, let us try to solve this particular the numerical example. Now, how to determine how many bits are to be assigned to represent, so this particular the real variable. Now, this particular formula we have already got, we have already discussed how to derive, that we have seen. Now, I am just going to use this particular the formula just to find out this how many bits are to be assigned to represent the real variable. Now, here actually what we do is we try to calculate this L1, and to calculate this L1, so we know the x1 maximum, that is 10.43, and we know x1 minimum is 0.2, and the desired accuracy level is 0.01, and if you calculate, this will become log base 2 1023, and that is approximately equal to log base 2 raised to the power 10, and that is approximately equal to your 10. So, the number of bits which I am going to assign to represent this particular real variable is 10. That means, we are going to assign 10 bits to represent this particular the real variable. Similarly, if we want to determine how many bits are to be assigned to represent the integer variable, so I can use this particular formula, and if I just substitute the values, x2 maximum is 63, x2 minimum is 0, and here the accuracy level is 1, and if we calculate, this will become log base 2 63, which is approximately equal to the log base 2 63 is approximately equal to 64. So, this is nothing but 2 raised to the power 6, and that is equals to 6. So, I will have to assign 6 bits to represent this particular the integer variable, and once you have got this particular information, now I can design this particular the GA string. Supposing that this is the GA string, so the first the 10 bits will represent the real variable. So, this is going to represent the 10 bits, and the remaining 6 bits are going to represent this particular the integer variable. So, this is the way actually we can represent the GA string in order to handle the problem having one real and one integer, that is nothing but the mixed integer optimization problem. Thank you.